This is our plan to finish the job we started 1 year ago.
That is Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy as he announces the Ford government's pandemic budget, and he joins us live now. Minister, congratulations. This is your very first budget.
Well, thank you so much, Cynthia.
Now, your government was elected on trimming fat, balancing the books, and the pandemic clearly blew those plans out of the water. Your budget predicts the debt will grow to $500 billion by 2021. The deficit is $33 billion. I know you are fiscally conservative. What was it like to write this budget?
Well, it was definitely eye-popping, but I would do it all over again because part of the reason that I got into government was public service. I think you may know my story. I'm the son of two immigrants through World War II, Hungarian parents, and they met in this great province and had a family, and this country has so much to offer people all over the world, and I think it's important that we continue that to give back. So I've written some big checks, but Cynthia, I would do it all over again because protecting the health and well-being of every Ontarian, getting them the vaccines, doing the contact testing and tracing. The pandemic's not finished yet. It's not defeated, but I'm not going to rest, and our government's not going to rest until we defeat this pandemic, and we will.
Minister, healthcare was obviously the big spend in this budget, but education almost seems overlooked. It's virtually getting no additional spending, especially when you look at inflation. Why is that when the pandemic really highlighted how important education is to families?
Well, education is a priority for our government and was throughout COVID, continues to be and will be in the future. We spent $1.6 billion making sure our schools were safe, that the teachers and the staff had supplies of PPE that could have
yes, but Minister,
the sanitization.
I'm talking about going forward. Yes, but I'm talking about going forward
Cynthia,
in the next education year.
Yes. Yes, Cynthia, but this continues. So some of that money is continuing this year, and I would say the budget is increasing 2.3%. But we're not stopping there because we're investing also in virtual learning, particularly in more underserved and remote areas. I talked about that today in my speech. And so we continue to make investments in education because that's the right thing to do. And also, we heard from many parents and people that they wanted their kids back in school safely. So we put all the investments in place so that they could do that. And so far, that's from what I've heard from many parents and people, that's been a success.
Now, Minister, this pandemic has really revealed how some people are so very much in need as opposed to others. I have to ask you about people with disabilities who are on ODSP. A single person in Ontario receives a maximum $1,169 in social assistance. It's not enough to live on, really. It hasn't gone up since the Harris days. Nobody can survive on that and buy proper food. I know times are tough, but why won't this government top up ODSP to some people who need it the most?
Well, Cynthia, this budget very much focuses on the most vulnerable. This budget focuses on people who've been greatly affected in this pandemic.
But it's not helping these people specifically, Minister.
Well,
it's not helping
right
these
across,
people
racialized people, Indigenous communities, young youth, women, people with disabilities. I could go on, and we have set aside significant amount of money in supports for those to help with things like supportive housing, supportive transportation, high priorities community fund, which allows for supports for individuals like that, whether it be testing, vaccination, food insecurity, in some cases accommodation supports. So we're doing a lot in this budget, and I highlighted that in my speech, that we are going to continue to do a lot for those communities.
Minister, we've run out of time. I'd love to debate this further with you. Thank you very much for joining us here on City News.
Well, I'd love to continue the conversation, Cynthia, and happy to talk some more down the road.
Thank you.
Thank you.